Every year in North America, 8 million people contemplate this. 1 million people attempt it. 39,000 succeed. Succeed at what? Suicide. 39,000, that's twice the rate of homicide. As a matter of fact, annually, more people die from self-harm than homicide, natural disasters, and war combined. And practically no one is talking about it until now. If you're looking for an idea worth spreading, all you need is a tribe and a vacuum. Seth Godin, The Tribes We Lead, TED 2009. My tribe is people who suffer from depression and for whom the option of suicide is always on the menu. And the vacuum is, again, that practically no one is talking about it, which fascinates me, and I'll tell you why. Because I've discovered over my lifetime that just the mere mention of the words depression and suicide out loud elicit the most amazing revelations from people, some of whom I have just met. It's almost as if they are waiting and waiting and waiting for someone to give them permission to give voice to their feelings and experiences surrounding depression and suicide. It's almost as if it's like a fractured fairy tale. It's almost as if they're waiting for somebody to come up and utter the magic, or in this case, the tragic words, depression and suicide. Last month, I was working a ship, a cruise. I do a number of cruises, and I was in the Lido buffet. Every ship has a Lido, by the way. And I couldn't find a place to sit. And I see a woman at a table for two, and I said, "Excuse me, do you mind if I sit?" She goes, "No, sit, sit, sit." So I sit down. She looks up. She goes, "Hey, are you the comedian?" I go, "Hey, did you enjoy the comedy show?" She goes, "I did." I go, "Well, I'm the comedian." She goes, "Well, what would you have said if I said I didn't enjoy the comedy show?" "I'm the juggler." We got to chatting. She said, "Are cruise ships all you do?" I said, "No, I do quite a bit of motivational speaking. And you know what? I just nailed down a TED Talk." She goes, "What's the topic?" And I'm thinking to myself, here we go. I said, "Depression and suicide." And then I started a countdown in my head. 3, 2, 1. She says, "You know what? I tried to kill myself twice." She and I have just met. She goes, "First time kind of half-hearted. It was in college, not particularly serious." She said, "The second time, far more serious." She goes, "I not only graduated college, I had graduated medical school. I was a doctor. I had the knowledge, I had the equipment, I had an IV started in my ankle. I had the suicide cocktail in my left hand, the 2 vials. In my right hand, I had the syringe, getting ready to load it up. And she says, the phone rings. And I'm thinking to myself, do I answer it? Well, she said, "You know, I was afraid it was somebody who would worry. They would come over, they would interrupt." So I picked up the phone. She goes, "Turns out it's my 13-and-a-half-year-old son." And she said, "You know, I don't know if he heard something in the way I said hello, or he had a premonition, but the first thing he said to me was, 'Mom, don't do anything.'" She said, "I didn't. I didn't give up on the idea of suicide, but I decided not to do it that day because I was afraid," she said, "he would realize that it had happened right after we spoke and he would feel guilty, that maybe he could have said something that would have stopped me from committing suicide." So I said to her, "Well, how old is he now?" She goes, "He's 21. I said, "Does he know that he stopped your suicide?" She goes, "Oh, no." I said, "No?" She goes, "No." How do you start that conversation? How indeed? I'm thinking TED Talk.